If you haven't reached the end game of Tactics Ogre Reborn yet, or maybe you've just arrived, you may have questions about how exactly the World Tarot system works, and whether you'll lose any progress when using it to go back in time. In this video, I will explain how this system works and reveal whether using it can mess up the progress you've made. The World Tarot system unlocks after beating the final boss of the main story campaign, and allows you to travel to anchor points along the game's timeline. This is the main draw of this system, as it allows you to make different choices and see the other branches of the game's story. But does this come at a cost? Will you lose your previous playthrough? Well, as you can see here, I jumped from the post-game coda all the way back to Chapter 1. And still have all of my units at max level, all my items, equipment, skills, and spells too. Moving forward on the timeline, you can see that it splits and allows me to jump to either the Law or Chaos route of Chapter 2. This is because my first playthrough was on Chaos, and later I used the World Tarot to go back and make the other choice at Balmamusa. This allowed me to then play through the Law route of Chapter 2. In this way, you can use the World Tarot to go back and recruit characters that you missed, or those who maybe you failed to save during your first playthrough. Once a character is recruited, they are in your party forever, and you are safe to jump to any other point in the game, even back to the post-game. So while you keep all your units, equipment, levels, and even the shop maintains its full in-game inventory, there are a few things to keep in mind when jumping around the timeline. First off, when playing through a battle that has one of your units as a guest, like Vice or Kashua in Chapter 1, you will not be able to control the unit, and the AI will instead. Once the battle is over though, you will still have that unit in your party. For units that can die as guests, like Aracel, I can't say for sure that if they die in a battle while a guest, that they won't be removed from your party, as I haven't tested that. So make sure you have a pre-battle save if you come across this situation. The next thing to keep in mind while time hopping is that there is a level sync system when using the World Tarot. This system allows you to choose for battles you've already played whether you want to play at your current level or sync your level to that of the battle. This level sync, when turned on, also nerfs any equipment that you would have not had access to at that point in the story. Items, though, do not appear to be affected. Having the level sync off is great for quickly getting through battles you've already completed so that you can get to the decision or character recruitment point that you're trying to reach. However, once you get to a battle you have not played, the level sync will be on and you cannot turn it off. One interesting thing to note here is that while your stats and gear may be nerfed, you still have access to all the spells and skills obtained at higher levels. This means that these battles still tend to be much easier due to the ability to use these high-powered, late-level skills. The last couple of things to keep in mind when using the World Tarot is that your alignment will change, but Chaos Frame doesn't appear to. So your alignment, lawful, neutral, chaos, doesn't seem to have any major impact that I've seen on the game, other than maybe some dialogue variation and some of your units liking you better. But going back in time and making different choices will change this alignment, so be aware of that if that matters to you. Chaos Frame is a little-known background statistic that you cannot see until you've completed the main story. Essentially, it is a record of how well liked or hated you are by each of the game's clans. For the most part, it has little effect, except in the case of the recruitment for at least one character. So as I said, Chaos Frame does not save after jumping from one point to another. It changes to whatever your Chaos Frame was at that point in the story. When it comes to the story, this is where the World Tarot can get a little confusing. So I think the easiest way to talk about this would be to use a late game decision as an example. Spoiler warning if you haven't completed the Barnisha Castle battle in Chapter 4. 3, 2, 1, okay. So if Kashua dies at this point, you get a different ending than if she lives once you beat the final boss. To change the ending, you will need to go back to the last anchor point before this Kashua choice, and then make the other choice. You will then need to fight all the way through the rest of the game and beat the boss again to get the other ending. You can't simply switch your choice and then jump to the next anchor point, as the story is only updated and locked in once you reach the next anchor point. So to sum this up, the story is saved from anchor point to anchor point. I know this can be a little confusing, but this is the best way I know how to describe it. As far as everything else goes though, you can freely jump around time with no worries. You will not lose progress, you will not irreparably change anything, and even if you want to see other story segments, playing through completed battles is very easy at high level, and you can just let the AI do it for you. So have no worries, and use the World Tarot to go back and grab all those characters you missed. If you want to see more Tactics Ogre Reborn, you can watch this video I made for you. And thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and keep on gaming.